1, 2, 3, 4.
Picture this. It's late at night. Dice are rolling. A table erupts in laughter, and no one wants to leave. That's not a home game. That's Mythicon West. Today, we're talking with the organizer behind one of the most community-driven tabletop conventions in the country and how they built a con that feels more like a shared adventure than an event. On this episode of Lay It on the Table. So, welcome back to another edition. As per usual, I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mahaffey, and as always, my partner in crime,
James Engelhardt. Good to be here, Joe. Good to see you, sir.
It is great to be back, and of course, we are very happy to have Richard Fortuna, one of the masterminds behind Mythicon and Mythicon West, the Carolinas' best gaming convention, tabletop gaming convention, and we are here to talk about Mythicon West, which is coming up in exactly just shy of 2 months, right?
Just shy of 2 months, yes.
Yeah, we're coming up fast. Welcome back to the program, Richard. It's
Thank you. It's been a couple of years.
It has been. We keep trying. I keep trying to get James to come up to Mythicon, but evidently his wife's birthday is way more important.
So weird. Yeah, I know.
Nobody blames him, by the way, so that's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you very much for having me back on. I'm glad to be here.
Well, the last time you were on, it was really interesting because prior to Mythicon, it had been Jeff Con. Or it had been
It was Mace.
Mace, that is correct. And then y'all did
the Mid-Atlantic Convention Expo.
That is correct.
Which was a redundant name, but that one ran for 25 years. Jeff Con was the last Mace. And that one was run by Ron McClung after Jeff Smith's passing. Jeff had been running Mace for 24 years, and then he contracted cancer, and it progressed very quickly. And ultimately, he passed away. And then Ron did Jeff Con in Jeff's memory. And by that time, me and my colleagues had already had the discussion with Ron, and we were already planning on taking it over and keeping it going, because basically we'd been going to Mace for time out of mind, probably like over 15 years in my case. And so, it was our home convention. Like, we'd go to other conventions, but that was the one it always felt like we were coming home to. So we wanted to kind of pick up the torch where Jeff laid it down, and just kind of continue with the same, hometown feel that we had with the original Mace. So yeah, that's kind of where Mythicon and Games for All Events, which is our company, came from.
That's awesome.
And so we run 2 conventions a year. We run Mythicon West, which is our spring convention in Asheville, North Carolina, at the Doubletree Biltmore. And then we have our fall convention, which we call it Mythicon Prime, but that's our internal name for it, but it's just Mythicon. And that one is in Charlotte at the Hilton University. And that one's in November, usually right around my wife's birthday. Weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right around. Yeah, it's right around your wife's birthday.
Yeah. I don't know why you did that, but yeah,
we plan it for that every year.
I tell you.
Well, so by my dead reckoning, you've been doing this now for 3 years. This is your third.
This is our fourth. Yeah, this will be our 4th Mythicon West. So we are just kicking off our 4th year.
Didn't you start in the West and then roll around to the fall? Is that right?
Right.
No?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
So that makes it. So my dead reckoning of 3 years was right.
You are correct. Yeah, we just did our 3rd Mythicon Prime last November.
So given the fact that you guys have been doing this for 3 years and you've taken on the legacy of Mace, what has surprised you about running a convention?
Oh wow, that's a good question. There lots of surprises. The interesting part of it has been just how much work goes into running a 3-day convention. It's a good several months of work, of solid work, that goes into running a 3-day event. Um, and yeah, it's a lot, but it's a labor of love. It's something that we really enjoy doing. So,
Well,
it
what I've
doesn't
noticed,
feel like work.
well, what I noticed at the last time I was there, in addition to your Herculean efforts for first aid when necessary, was that I didn't
Oof,
see you
yeah.
around a lot of tables playing games. Has
Well, you just missed me then, because I was running this last convention. I started a new thing that I'm trying to get more miniature games onto the table, because you know, board games, card games, RPGs, that's been the bread and butter of Mythicon and Mace, before it. But I am a miniature gamer through and through. So, I love Warhammer 40K is one of the big games that I'm into. But most recently, I've been getting into more indie games.
Mhm.
The one that has really captured my fancy of late is Trench Crusade. And so I was running what I call the Grimdark Alley. It's a complete ripoff of something that the Hive Scum podcast runs at Adepticon every year. But they basically have, a space where they put all of their miniature skirmish games and stuff, and they kind of try to build the community up around um, that type of game. And then so I'm trying to do the same thing at Mythicon, kind of give it a space where we can start building that up. And so I was over there running Trench Crusade demos throughout the weekend. And yeah, Mythicon Prime has always been, it's been the one where we have to do the most work. This year we actually we made a change that kind of helped us get out from behind registration a little bit more, in that we
Awesome.
gave up concessions. Like, we were running a concession stand, and that kept us chained to the desk the entire weekend long. So we gave that over to the hotel. The hotel ran our concessions for us, and that actually gave us the opportunity to do more things to build the convention. Um, if Nick was able to join, Nick Polimas, one of my co-runners, if he had been able to join us, he could have told you more about the GM Gauntlet that he and Dan Smith ran. That one was kind of like a RPG Iron Chef, where they gave GMs a prompt, and they gave them some modules that they needed to use, and little GM tools and miniatures and things like that. And basically, they had to concoct a an RPG within an hour, to run for a table full of folks. They could use whatever system they chose, and they could pre-generate fantasy-based characters, but that's all they could do. And then the actual story and everything had to be built on the fly. So they ran that for the first time at this last convention, and then I was running the Grimdark Alley, and then Karen, my wife, also an organizer, she started a miniature painting competition.
I saw that.
So
Yeah,
we
great.
got to add more programming to the schedule by giving up, that one thing, and it gave us a lot of bandwidth to be able to do that. Now, Mythicon West, that's the one where we usually get to kind of sit back and enjoy the convention, because it's about half the size of Charlotte.
Mhm.
So where Charlotte this year, we had just over 700, checked in attendees.
Nice.
The Con West, usually we average around 350, 400. So it's a smaller, cozier type of environment, and we're able to actually get out there and do stuff. This time I'm going to be running a full day Trench Crusade narrative on Saturday. So like, and if you wanted to, you could borrow one of my war bands and come join us. You know, but
Well, I was looking at the
yeah, so
calendar.
it's going to be fun.
I was looking at the calendar this weekend. I've got an eye appointment that Friday that I got to figure out. So if I can move that, my goal is to try to come up there for the weekend.
Yeah.
Because I remember walking down from the registration desk to that hall at that room at the end of the hall. And there were a lot of miniature. I think there were a lot of miniature games going on in that room. And I saw that
it's the first thing you see when you come in, because it's that first row is all miniature games. But then the rest of that big room is board games, pretty much.
Well, there was this guy down there. I'm not talking about the room on the right. I'm talking about the end of the hallway. There was this guy in there that had like this life-size. I wasn't really life-size, but it was a huge Tower of Mordor with the eye.
Oh, you're talking about at Prime. Yes.
At Prime.
So
I'm curious.
Life-sized Eye of Mordor. Yeah, that'd be a whole different.
It was to scale. It was to scale, and it was not Sauron's tower. It was Saruman's tower.
Orthanc,
Orthanc, yes. But yes, he had a 2-scale Orthanc that sat like 7-8 feet tall. And it was sitting on top of a table. Okay. It was sitting on top of a table in addition to, yes, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. This thing was huge. And
that's a human to scale. That's not like a banana to scale. That's
right. Seriously. Oh yeah. You were cutting out there, Joe. But in addition to that, we also had Helm's Deep. They had a Helm's Deep event where they actually did the whole, siege of Helm's Deep.
Wow.
As an event. Which was amazing because they, we're talking like hundreds of miniatures it looked like on the field. It was crazy. But they did that the night before. And then we had a 24 seat Middle Earth strategy battle game tournament that ran Saturday, Sunday at Prime this year. So yeah. It was really cool. There was a lot of cool stuff going on in there. We had some, we had some Mordheim, a game that hasn't been supported by GW in 25 years. We had, Forbidden Psalm. We had BattleTech. We had all sorts of stuff going on.
So I've got a question about Mythicon West, right? Because you're in Asheville. It's at the DoubleTree Hilton, and I guess that's where you've been for a while. Yes.
That's the one where Mace was before us, and then
perfect.
We basically took over the relationship with both of those hotels from Mace. So
perfect. But that's near Biltmore Village, where it got hit pretty hard in Helene, right?
Yes.
And so it's great to see that you're still there, that the hotel has come back. How has that been? I want to hear more.
This was because our convention last year was only a couple of months after the actual Helene event, and amazingly the hotel barely got touched. They had I think a couple of windows get cracked or something like that. It was a minor.
It looks like they're a little uphill.
They're a little uphill. Most of the flooding missed them, but if you went a few hundred yards down the hill from there, that was the center of Biltmore Village, which got hit the hardest.
And so it's great
the
that
devastation was crazy.
Yes, and I'm just really glad to see that you're staying there. You're bringing people back, and I'm going to be curious about how that area looks this time around.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how much they progressed in the last year, because just in the couple of months before our convention, they made a lot of progress. And interestingly enough, we were actually expecting that this year we would have to find a new venue because they were going to be shutting down the hotel to do major remodeling. But because of Helene, they postponed that and decided to just do more things in place,
Hmm.
and keep the doors open. So it
Sure.
meant we didn't have to find a new hotel, which was I hate to say a positive side of holding for us at least.
No, no,
It
but
did save
it's
us having to find a new spot, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, it
but
was a
also
good
bringing
thing.
a bunch of people down to Biltmore Village
Mhm.
again, and whatever's there and
Yeah,
coming back, it'll
exactly.
be great
Yeah,
to have all those folks there. So that's awesome.
yeah, totally.
So, and so you've got I remember there was at Prime kind of an unpub section, right? There were people who were, I remember playing a couple of
Oh, yeah,
unpublished prototypes. Yeah.
right.
Is that the thing that sort of happens at West as well, or is that mostly
To a
Prime that does
lesser
that?
extent, yes.
Okay.
We've got some folks who are doing like there's Attack 13, the Horseman's game. They're doing
Okay.
a beta tournament.
Okay.
That's an independent publisher. We usually have several independents
Yeah,
who
there's a
come out
thriving
and
indie scene
demo
up
their
there,
games.
so
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is
And yeah. Joe.
is there anything towards that end? I mean, gosh, is there anything that makes a game submission immediately stand out to you guys, or is it just like, oh, we got a slot to fill, we're going to take this, or do you tend to be a little bit more particular around the game to be?
Well,
Yep.
we do have some semi-celebrity GMs who come around. Like this year we have Nikki Ray who did the Changeling games for White Wolf. She's actually going to be running a couple of Changeling games. Uh, we have quite a few folks who write their own games. Erica Balsey usually runs her Gravenstein Academy games. We also have DM Scotty, who was an old fan of Jeff's from way back, but he runs a YouTube channel, DM's Craft. But he also is the creator of the Easy D6 rule system, and so he usually runs a few games at our convention as well. So we've got quite a few folks who come out who are bringing their own games and showing those off. Yeah, it's kind of a motley thing. And of course, Empire Games is going to be back with their I Drank What tournament. They do that every year, so that one's always fun.
So is
Yeah.
there like a special like unpub section, or is it just people who are like, hey, I've got
Nah,
a yeah.
eh, we usually like it depends on what it is that's being run. Some of our uh we have a couple of rooms that we will put like our special GM slots, and then the but usually like the board games and stuff, they want people to be able to see them, so we just put them in a spot like right in the middle of our board game room so that they can show off their product as well as run their games,
And
and
so
then
is
we
there,
have
and
a
I think just to follow up on Joe's question too, is there a
yeah.
like you have to apply to have your game, or is it like, and you just sort of say, hey, I've got an unpublished board game, is it cool if I show up
Usually,
and
what we recommend to folks, if they want if they want to reach out to us, they can reach out to our gaming. It's gaming@mythicon.games is
awesome.
our
I
gaming
want a
email,
dot
and
games
then
email. That's awesome.
hey, you can have one. I mean, it's not
All
that
right, man.
hard.
We're working on that, James.
Thanks. Okay, but they can reach
Lay it
out to
on the
you
table.
and
Dot games.
yeah, they're there. Yeah, it's awesome. But they can reach out to you there at that email and say, "Hey, I've got an idea,"
Yep.
or
Yeah, yeah, and as if they hit us up early enough before people have taken all the slots, we'll usually be able to accommodate whatever folks want to run. For example, the I Drank What tournament pretty much takes over a table the entire weekend. So they usually grab a table early, and then we have them stuck in the corner so that their rowdiness doesn't disturb the neighbors.
Well, I gotta say that was a real learning curve for me the first time I came, because I ran Obsession, and I thought naively, I thought 2 hours was going to be enough,
Yeah.
and it was not. And
Yeah,
I
we
really
kind of
didn't
have
like.
we kind of have our quote unquote standard schedule, which we really
Yeah,
only enforce that for our RPGs, which is based around 4-hour sessions. So we have like 2 4-hour sessions on Friday, then 3 on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. Most of the time, folks stick to that, for their sessions. But yeah, 2 hour. The thing about a convention game, I always recommend you give yourself at least a half hour to an hour longer than you would normally take for
yeah,
a teaching game.
make it
You
better.
gotta, yeah, you pretty much have to expect that most of the people coming to the table don't know your game.
Right.
But
Well,
that's one of the nice things about having a convention or having convention games is that it is a way to go to when you go to a convention, you can get exposed to a bunch of games that you don't normally get to play, and try before you buy, kind of.
well, it lends itself to a question that I wanted to ask you, because you've done this now going into your 4th year. Do you have a this almost went wrong story that you can laugh about now?
Oh, wow. Surprisingly, well, knock on any wood type object in the vicinity, yeah, but yeah, I mean, fortunately, we've had so much community support.
Mhm.
On McClung, who ran Mace, ran the gaming for Mace for time out of mind. He actually helped us with getting getting our gaming coordination off the ground. And in fact, last convention, the last one in November, and this one, this Mythicon West is this is the first time that we've actually flown solo, and not had him, seriously helping us, with organizing the gaming. We've had so much positive support from the community and from the previous organizers of the convention, and from even from Jeff Smith's family. It's like it's been such a great opportunity, and I can't say that we've had any massively, difficult moments yet. Like I said, I'm, knock on wood, that it doesn't change anytime soon. But yeah, generally everybody seems to like us and appreciate what we're doing. So yeah, I can't really tell you anything off the top of my head.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, part of that is, I guess, that you're inheriting a process that's already going,
Right.
and again, you're talking
Yep.
about it's a great community and people, who are behind you. So, I guess the sort of question for me is, are you trying to grow the cons? You're just content to have them kind of at the size they
We
are,
are,
or do you
you
have a
know,
future in mind? Yeah.
honestly, we're not trying to grow too fast. The first year that we started the convention, we did a lot more promotion than we have the last couple of years, and yet our attendance continues to grow. This last, Mythicon Prime was the most attendees that we've had for Mythicon Prime so far. It's grown steadily year over year, and this last year, I think we were up about maybe 6 or 7%, I think, over the previous year. So not huge numbers, but it allows us to stay where we're at, because we're not really looking to move to a new location anytime soon, and we're already at the point of maxing out the spaces that we have.
Wow.
Because the even right now, I'm looking at the schedule for Mythicon West, and RPG slots are filling up fast.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
so it's going to be a very full schedule this year. And last year we actually had to turn GMs away by the end of it because we just didn't have enough table space for
Wow.
the people who wanted to run. And we're kind of in that boat as well for Prime, especially for RPGs, because those tend to fill up very quickly. But yeah, but we're not looking at really growing much more, because we're kind of or we're not going out of our way to make that happen. We still do promotion. We still reach out to local gaming stores, partly for promoting ourselves, but we also promote them.
Right.
We tend to, if you keep an eye on our social media in the months leading up to one of our conventions, we usually do, sometimes we'll do like a tour of the state where, the Mythicon team will go around to local game stores and just to see what the community's like, and also snap pictures and post them on our social media and say, hey, these guys are over here if you didn't know about it. And it's interesting when people come back and say, I would have never known that store was there if it weren't for you guys. So hey, that's kind of a good feeling too, to where
I'm
we
really
can kind of give back to the community too.
That's awesome. Yeah.
really glad you brought that up, because as I travel around the state for my real job in life, I'll always stop in a local game store and kind of check it out. And it's always interesting to me to see what the hot game is in the store. And
Yeah.
it's not always what I run into back in, here in Carolina Tabletop Games in Pineville. Not a sponsor, but they should
Not
be.
a sponsor.
But but it's Rob loves it when I do that.
Yep.
Those things where it's just really interesting to see, because I remember I was down at Myrtle Beach once and I walked into a game store down there and they were just hot for Game of Thrones. You would have
Oh, yeah.
thought that was the brand new miniature game. And I was like, I'm not even sure I knew this
Are you
existed.
talking about Song of Ice and Fire, or?
Yes, I'm so
Okay.
sorry. I said it wrong.
Yeah.
See, that's what I get for not playing the game. But it was the song. Thank you for maintaining the IP. Yes. Song of
Well,
Ice.
no,
and-
I mean, there's also Game of Thrones board games. Like there's the
No,
old
this is the miniature.
Fantasy Flight game. I had that one for a while.
See, Tona, the thing you can always guarantee on this program is that I'm always going to get it wrong, and James is going to correct me. So you have just stepped into the role of James.
Okay, good. Well, where miniature games are concerned, I can definitely step into that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's tuna for that. Yeah.
But
I don't know, yeah.
the point remains the same. Song of Ice and Fire was not as popular in Charlotte as it was in.
Yeah.
This stuff is always interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of that around here. Although I have been intrigued by the game, but I just don't see many people playing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still 40K all the time around here.
100%.
Oh my God, yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you had talked a little bit about. I'm interested too in the difference a little bit between Asheville and Charlotte, just generally speaking, right? Because I'm thinking I was at Mythicon 2 years ago, Joe, you and I. Yep, that was super fun. And I know Asheville, and so is there a vibe? There's a different vibe. I'm going to use my students' vocabulary here. There's a vibe.
I will say,
between, like,
yeah.
Is there less vegan food trucks in Charlotte versus Asheville, or yeah?
I would say so. We don't usually have food trucks in Asheville, but if they were, they probably would be. Just by proxy.
Sure.
But there's so many good foods places. What's that?
Oh yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
Not at all. Not at all. If it's good vegan food. I mean, I've had some bad.
That is true.
I've had. But yeah, I'm not against it. But I do like my meat though.
Fair enough. I noticed there were the barbecue trucks in Charlotte. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we have had some pretty good food trucks down in Charlotte too. Because that's another thing is, like, we started doing the food trucks last year, and that was such a hit that
Yeah.
it's another reason why we kind of gave up on concessions. It's like, okay, we're going to bring in food trucks. We'll let the hotel handle the
If you're
sodas
gonna
and
bring in
chips
candy
and
bars, bring your own
whatever.
candy bars. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, come on.
You can do this.
There are grocery stores nearby. If
Yeah.
you don't want to pay
World.
hotel prices, there you can
It's
bring
right
your
around there.
own.
But is there other just another general just vibe? Is there just a sort of different sense between the
As-
West and Prime?
Yeah, as far as the convention is concerned, I
Yeah.
tend to feel like Asheville's a much more laid back con.
Awesome.
And part of that is just because of it being half the number of people.
Right.
So you don't have the long lines at registration that you deal with as much with Charlotte. And we keep opening registration earlier and earlier in each year to try to cut that down, so people can come in and get their badge in plenty of time to get to their games. But it just tends to feel like a lazy weekend almost.
That's awesome.
I mean, at least by comparison, there you go. There you
Sure,
go.
there it is. Yeah. Yeah.
That artwork was done by Karen, my wife.
there you go.
She
Yep.
is a very awesome artist. Yeah, she usually does the cutesy badge each year, and then Dan Smith does the more serious looking equivalent, which that's
okay. There it is.
the other side
On
of that.
brand.
Yep,
Okay. There we
so-
go. Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
There we go. I guess I need to mirror my video so
It's all good.
you can see it the right way.
I'll fix it in post. It's fine.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you can even see this over here, but that's the mythical creature for this year. It is a
Ah.
robot unicorn.
Nice.
So that's our robot unicorn attack year. So
Awesome.
The zombie apocalypse.
exactly.
So, having done this for a little bit, is running a con more like being a GM, or is it more like herding cats?
Gosh, the latter. Much the latter. The thing that about Mythicon and Mace before it was that this is a 100% volunteer run event. I mean, like all of the GMs are volunteers. They're basically in it just to get a free badge. We don't have paid GMs or anything like that here. Our vendors, they're there to sell, but we don't charge them out the wazoo for their booths or anything. So we've been told that we actually charged less than pretty much every other convention in the area for our vendor space. So they love us. But it's but with it being all volunteers, that whole herding cats aspect is definitely appropriate. Especially when it's like when we're running around and begging folks to get their games in, because we're down to in 2 weeks time. Yeah. 2 weeks time. We're going to be on the 24th. We're going to be opening up early game registration for our GMs and volunteers, and then the week after that, on the 31st, we open up general game registration for everyone. So we want to make sure that our schedule is pretty much filled up by the 24th. So we're at the point now where we've got a few groups who. Like No Ordinary Gamers is a board game group who usually takes over like 4 tables for us and runs them all weekend long with board games. So it's like, hey guys, you got your list yet? It's like we want to get your stuff on the schedule before it goes live. And then we also have the Asheville historical gamers. They have a couple of tables bringing like historical miniature events. We have D&D Adventures League and Pathfinder Society and And so, yeah, we're at that point where we're scrambling around trying to get all of them to get all their games in, because they're having to compile their own list. They're having to herd their own cats, and then they can send those games over to us. So yeah, we're kind of at that point. But honestly, once we get to the convention, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, I want to paint a picture for our listeners, because, if you walk into the vendor section, at
yeah.
least this is
Prime.
my experience at Prime. I can't speak to Asheville or West, but I can say this, that, I know that there's one organization that comes down every year from Maryland. It's a game store that brings all their
Waltz
their
cards. Yep.
inventory to, and when I say they bring in a healthy inventory, it's like a 10 by 20 shop.
Mhm.
There are a lot of artisans that bring their craft, whether it's wood based or leather based or fabrics, where you can get elf hats, you can get dice jails, you can get very unique kind of game table paraphernalia.
And housing and stuff for D&D stuff, like with the lighting and that kind of. That's
occasionally, I don't know if he comes to Asheville, but there is a person from Texas who comes in and does how to light your village.
Yeah, David. He is so good. Yeah,
So
David Roche. Yeah, that's
he and I shared a pint or two when I was there. Again, and of course, I've sat in on a couple of his seminars, and so we're looking forward to speaking with him
Yeah,
here.
he
But
comes to Prime. He doesn't come to West.
I
But
see.
we love having him there so that he can run. Like, I actually attended a soldering class with him at this last Prime, so that was kind of cool.
As a board gamer, I don't solder anything.
Yeah, I don't usually either. And then I came home and tried to fix a couple of dead PlayStation controllers and destroyed them. But so it wasn't a very thorough.
As a ham radio operator, I use soldering all the time. Just gonna say it right here.
But I'll tell you, if all I wanted to do was wire up some LEDs or something a little more simple, I would be fine. You just don't try to rewire a PCB,
Well, my whole point is that there's an amazing vendor section with a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to walk through it a few times, almost clockwise and then clockwise, or you miss something.
At West, we don't have a very large vendor space. There's only room for, I think, maybe 7 or 8 booths in the vendor room itself. So we end up lining the halls with the vendors, and so there's when you come out of the vendor room, you can go all the way going all the way down to where our gaming area is. There's just vendor after vendor after vendor, and it's mostly there's a lot of crafts. There's a lot of we have woodworkers who come out. There's a gentleman who makes really, really cool MDF terrain and just gaming accessories out of MDF, and he custom cuts them himself, like laser cuts it. And some of that stuff is just great. Like he's got a dice tower that's like a giant airship, steampunk airship. That you drop the die down through the airship and it comes out the bottom. It's so cool. But he had dice catapults. Things like that.
Okay.
That's actually how I met Trailside Games and Hobbies.
Yeah.
They were out in the hallway.
Trailside.
I met Cassidy for Drunk Nerds and Dragons out in the hall space.
They will be at West. They're running games for us.
And then, of course, David Roche's company is Terraintronics.
Terraintronics, yeah.
So we'll make sure that we get them on the program here. But there's really some neat. I had the business cards here in my hand just to remind me.
Yes,
right there. Wow, well
off the top of my head. Well, it's also where we met Humble Bard Games, and we had John on, 3 weeks ago to talk about Spirits of Christmas, and that was cool. Yeah. So I mean, for this podcast, it's been great for us to just meet people and con them. I mean, invite them to come on our show.
Yeah, so you were talked about, like, one of the great things about cons is you get to try games, right? You get to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was there at Prime, I heard about a game called Four Humors, and I had seen that it was in the play to win section. So I pulled it off the shelf and played it through kind of myself just to see how everything was going, and I thought it was great. And I wanted to get into the play to win, but I did, but I didn't win it. Damn it! But I did get it as a Christmas gift a couple of weeks later. So hooray! And it
Yeah.
seems like the play to win stuff is going well in Prime.
Yes.
Does that still go on in West
and
as
at
well?
West. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we partner with a company called I think it's Double Exposure. I think it's the company who
Okay.
Envoy. Envoy is the
Okay.
is the company that we work with, and so we sign up with them every year in the months prior to the con, and then they partner with all of these independent publishers and stuff to kind of collect copies of their games and send them out
That's
to
fabulous.
conventions. So all we have to do is sign up, and then they send us like 20 or 30 games, and then we put them on play to win for the weekend. And then all they ask for us to do is snap some pictures when we award them out, so that they can
Oh,
put it
yep.
up on
I
their
remember
website.
that. Yep. I was disappointed watching other people getting snapped, but yes.
But yeah, we do that at every convention, and it's always a big draw. In fact, we're going to have a fairly large section or section of tables out front where we can or where you can come and do the play to win, or they're just open gaming tables. So if you go pick something up in the dealer room, you can come right outside and pick a table and go
That's
play
awesome.
it. So yeah.
So you've been a long time participant in Mace.
Mhm.
You've been one of the driving forces behind Mythicon and Mythicon West over the last 3 to 4 years. Obviously you have a commitment to this being more than just a hobby.
Mhm.
But and if you think about the last 10 years, we've gone through a lot of things. We've gone through what I would consider the golden age of resurgence of tabletop gaming. Thank you, Critical Role.
I
But
mean,
then,
we are
Yeah.
kind of in a golden age right now. I mean, for
Yeah.
all sorts of gaming.
well, and
Yeah.
COVID really fueled that in many
Mhm.
interesting ways that I think we've seen a little bit of some aspects of that tide recede, I think, as people can go outdoors again. But I'm just kind of curious where I'm going with this is what do you think the tabletop scene think that is miniatures, think that is role play, think that is board, needs more of right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um,
You know, generative AI has made me a better interviewer.
you know, I'm not gonna. There are some people who are very anti AI, but
That was my
it's made me
question.
a better GM. I can say that much. In fact, the campaign that I'm running at Mythicon, I've just got done running it for my local group, the Trench Crusade campaign, and so I heavily use ChatGPT to write all of the fiction, like all of the background story. And it's like, okay, give me 200 words in the style of a military history talking about this, and and it does better than I would. I'll be honest with you. It can write better than I can. So, if but I think the kicker there is that I'm not trying to make money off of it, right? I'm
Right.
not going out and I'm not selling this stuff. I'm not trying to take away the work of people who do this for a living, but it does, I think, it does make it a lot easier for people who do this for fun, to really step up their production values and make their games more impactful, which is something that I personally have always tried to do in the things that I've run at a convention. If I'm going to run a game at a convention, I don't know how language appropriate I have to be, but I don't do things half-assed.
No, That shit's
It's
fine,
whole,
Richard.
it's whole or not. It's whole-assed or no-assed. It's
I
not
agree.
half-assed. It's just, but like, I've have a extensive collection sitting behind me of Dwarven Forge scenery for when I ran RPGs. So, I love going to a game and seeing a spectacle on the table. I want it to be something that people are going to walk away and oh wow, that was a really cool game, and with top-notch minis and terrain and all of that and
lighting
if,
and lighting, little bitty lights.
and lighting. Oh gosh, I really
So
yeah.
I'm gonna intuit your answer to my question to be that it needs more imagination.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it needs more players. Because one of the problems that I've had, and it actually kind of hurt me during COVID, was I got wrapped up into my hobby more than I did actually sitting down and playing games. And
Right.
actually, Joe and I were just talking about this. Sitting right behind me is Warhammer Quest Curse City and Hero Quest, or the Hero Quest reprint, and then I've got the new Warhammer Quest Darkwater. These are games that have a lot of miniatures in them, so I don't want to play them unpainted. So these have been sitting on the shelf for a very long time, unplayed. Because I'm more interested in the hobby aspect than actually getting to play. And so at this point I think it's we're still kind of getting back into the idea of getting out and actually meeting people face to face and sitting down across from them and actually playing. And I don't think we've kind of this may be a golden age in gaming, but I think we've been stuck behind like Tabletop Simulator and the online aspects of gaming a little much. And I think getting people out to actually physically interact with each other, I think we need more of that. And that's what tabletop gaming conventions really do.
Yeah.
Is you kind of have to get out there and you have to meet up with people and and kind
meet
of
random people
interact
and teach you random ass games. Yeah.
So instead of
and
return
there's a
to,
hunger for it. There's a major hunger for it.
Yep.
So
instead of return to office, we need to return to the table.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So I've got one
RTT.
Yeah, I've got another. It looks like this is going to be year 7 for Mythicon West, right? Because
this is year 4.
Okay, so because I saw I was
it's
looking
our
at
7th convention. It's our 7th
because I
convention.
saw you could get the tags, like if you're so you get a little Benny if you're level 5, like you get something fun, right? And then there was something about level 7 ones. So like, are you expecting any level 7 attendees, or is there more gamification
we
you're going to do
some.
with that? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically what we do is the first time you come to a Mythicon convention, you'll get a little level 1 sticker. And the stickers feature our
Joe's
our
got
little
more
mascot.
visual supplies here. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so keep going.
And actually,
Joe's finding his thing.
I've got my level 5 over here that
there
I
you go.
I can show you in a minute. But basically, there you go. But if you look at the corner, do you have the little sticker on there?
I have a QR.
You don't have a sticker. Oh, how did you not get a sticker?
Yeah.
You got ripped off, man. There's a so basically you should have gotten a little sticker to put on your badge that says you're a level 1 if it's your first time at the convention. Don't worry, I can hook you up. At any rate, come see me at registration. We can get you hooked up.
Thanks.
What's that?
I got to go to Asheville now. Thanks.
Yeah, totally. So you get your level 1 sticker, and each sticker is unique per year, and it has our little mascot whose name is Drool. He's a shapeshifter, so he's always changing into different
every year. Nice,
different
well
things.
played.
And so, but when you get to, and if you come back the next your next convention, it doesn't have to be the next year. It could be just like if you come to West and then come to Charlotte, could be a level 2 at the end of the year, and then if you keep coming back, you bring your old badge, we give you the next level badge up, or the next level sticker. When you get to level 5, you get a custom lanyard, which
okay, all right, there he goes. He's gone.
Looks like.
Coming back.
I'm back.
He's coming back.
All right.
Whew.
So you get a special level 5 lanyard. And then this is what the level 6 sticker looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's so you get a nice
leveling
lanyard.
Up.
And we're gonna do special stuff at level 10, 15,
Awesome.
20. I don't think we'll probably go past 20. I think at that point you're epic level.
You get to retire as a deity of some sort. Yeah. Okay.
It's called a legacy member.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
You get that far.
Get an epic level gamer. Oh yeah, and this is something that a buddy of mine started doing this year.
Yeah. Those are awesome.
We used to go to ReaperCon out in Texas for Reaper miniatures, and the community out there kind of took this over, and they like a bunch of people off the forums started like producing their own badges and stuff, and then the convention started backing it, and then the hotel started doing it, and and so like we have badges that are probably about 3 feet long.
That's too much. We don't need those stinking badges.
But when the badge gets down below your knees, you can go back to registration, and they'll give you a sticker that says trip hazard that you can add to the bottom. But that's
just like Gandalf on it or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was one guy who had it strung up like a bandolier across his chest. It was great. But
the Doctor Who,
one of my buddies,
scarf.
Yeah. But we're trying to get that started at Mythicon too,
awesome.
Because it's just fun. It's something fun to do.
Absolutely.
Well, I know we're coming up onto the top of the hour here, so I'm curious, before we bring this to a close, is there anything that you would want to say to people that are thinking about coming to Mythicon West?
Well, I mean, now's the time to get your badge. We still have room in our hotel block. You can still come out and join us this year. If you get your badge between here and the 31st, you'll be able to sign up for games after that point. And at that point, we should have a fairly full schedule for you. But yeah, it's coming up fast, but
it's always beautiful in Western North Carolina. So head out there, y'all.
It is. Yeah. Western North Carolina in the spring. Very nice.
And for Lay It on the Table listeners, we're going to have a link to registration in the show notes below at tabletop.events. So you can find right to where you want to go. If you're interested in maybe submitting a game to run yourself, that clock is running down to the 24th. I thought I heard. Maybe I got that wrong.
Yes. So the 24th, if you want to run, get your games in by the 23rd. That'll give us the opportunity to get them on the schedule and get you a badge, so that on the morning of the 24th you can register a week early for any games to fill the rest of your schedule with. And that's one of the benefits of being a full-time GM, is that you can get early access to game registration. And also our website is mythicon.games. And if you go to mythicon.games, you'll always be directed to the tabletop.events site for the current upcoming con.
Love that.
So we don't have a dedicated web page at the moment, but we just use tabletop.events for
That's
everything.
great, though. That's a great.
But
That's a great spot. Gee, James, I wonder if you have any students that would like to run one of their games that they're trying.
It's all creative
Hey,
writing this
you know?
semester, alas.
Yeah, James runs a spring event at Furman University called what do they call that? It's
It's Mayax, yeah.
Mayax, and they go down there and he does board games for 3 weeks, and they get college.
Nice.
Where was that when I was coming up?
Yeah, no doubt, yeah. I
Um,
had to do theater
Right?
productions.
we interviewed one of his students that was actually trying to write a game. Was writing a game. I don't
Yep.
want to say trying.
And she's working on her master's right now in storytelling, so yeah.
Yeah, so some neat stuff
Awesome.
down there, right close to Asheville at Furman University.
Right close.
Just saying that right out loud. All right. Well, listen, Richard Fortuna, thank you so much for taking some time out of your Sunday evening to come and talk to James and I about Mythicon West and, of course, Mythicon Prime and just sort of how the journey is going. We look forward to participating when we can and, of course, continuing this conversation as we go through the years ahead of both your con and hopefully our podcast. And as you're, by the way, you're just so you know, you're the kickoff of season 5 episode. So we've been doing this now for 5 seasons, James and I. So welcome to that. And when we come back in a couple of weeks,
Congrats.
last episode, I talked about the 12 games of Christmas that my wife and I were going to play. I hit all 12, maybe even 13. We might have had a baker's
Nice.
dozen.
Ooh, okay, nice.
So I will be prepared to talk about that. I don't know if it'll be just the next one because I don't know if I want to hog the whole thing, but maybe over the next couple I'll
Figure
walk
it
through
out.
some games that we played. But in the meantime, I am Joe Mahaffey, and I am not bored. I am board gaming.
And I'm James Engelhardt, hoping that all your tiebreakers break your way.
We will see you in a couple of weeks, and in the meantime, go get your registrations to Mythicon West. Take care, y'all.
you.
Thanks, Richard. Bye.
All right. Thank you.